John Dillon was a first class Yankee, but he was a nice man.
Is that?
He was a real nice man.
What did he do?
He shucked clams down. Yeah,
Uh huh.
he bought oysters too. Yeah.
So clams when you were a young man, there was no market here locally much for clams other than for bait, right?
Well, that's right. The clam come on. Well, I come out of service in '55. It just was just getting started, really. Someone made some money out of it at times when I could sell them.
Right. Did you ever do much of it?
Never went in my life. Never clammed in my life.
No kidding.
Well, I got on Wes Thompson's boat before.
Right.
He had an old boat. What do they call it? Buzzer or Visitor or something.
All right. I've heard of. I think of buzzard.
I'd go out there in the daytime and tie my little boat behind his, pick at the crack ones, you know.
Right.
And the little ones, which was against the law to take them little ones, but I get West didn't care.
That's the other thing. A lot of watermen were real characters, weren't they?
West was.
Well, that for example. But even the old days, right? Like there were a lot of.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Have you ever been out there and been in a situation that was scary or saw someone's boat sinking or have to help somebody in any kind of situation like
Me
that?
and Elson Lynch kept a boat from sinking during the ice. That boy's name is, you might know it now. I think that boy's old here. What's that boy's name? I seen him not long ago. Didn't hardly know where it was.
He's still in the business?
No, he got out of it.
What happened? Tell me about that.
We put a rope all the way under. And I got on one side. Elson had a bigger boat then too. And we both got on the side of him. This is my big boat now. And we both got on the side and we held that boat up to keep it from sinking.
Get out. Where was he at?
Right down. He wasn't very far down. It was during the ice. When you have a freeze up, it would open up a little at a time, you know.
Right.
And believe you me, I've seen a time when you could run up to a boat, up to the ice and get on it and walk on it. But every night it would break up more, you know. The wind would break ice up.
Right.
Wind, rain, and fog would really break up ice.
No kidding.
Well,
fog.
Southwest wind at Kent Narrows was the best to break ice up because it was blowing right in there.
So the ice broke up and his boat was sinking.
Well, it was partly his fault. He had done something wrong. I can't remember. He probably run into it.
Uh-huh.
Sinking. Elson got on one. We got ropes couple ropes underneath of it. We could hold it up till we got into shore.
Get it out. So you brought her in where? You
brought her into the air somewhere. I can't remember.
Get out.
Probably one of them marinas. You know.
That's amazing, man.
Always had a place there. In other words, we kept them from sinking. I can't remember. That boy's last name was. Oh, I can't think now. It'll come to me after a while.
You ever been caught out there in bad weather?
Quite a bit.
Can you remember any particular time that was bad?
Well, one year I had the big boat set up for oystering, and I had nets down past Burn Point.
Mm-hmm.
And it was on St. Patty's Day, which is a tricky day. Always has
been. Weather-wise.
We've had 2 or 3 violent storms on St. Patty's Day. But this day, I went down in that small boat. I was in her. In the big boat, wouldn't have been nothing to it. But I went down there and I had this one. I went to a couple nets, and it was hard into fishing and all. But I got this one net, boy. She would load up with rockfish, and that then it had to be 12 inches long. She had, it was a 2 or 3 days work. And you couldn't leave rock because they go to bed quick. A perch, you could leave the damn net for 3 or 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
And they'd live, but not rock. Rock would die.
No kidding.
That's why the state done all that rigmarole they done.
Right.
Because people would kill nets. And I anchored the boat, and I got the skiff, getting the fish out of that, and I had to put them in bushel baskets and stuff. And it was blowing about 10 miles an hour. It started to snow a little bit in the southwest. And all of a sudden, that wind shifted to northwest. And the time I got that skiff back to the boat, if I'd missed the boat, I'd went ashore in a small boat, in the skiff. And I got back to the boat, lucky enough, got everything out, started the motor up, got the, by myself now, and pulled her up. And by the time I got around Burnt Point, wasn't a long ways, but they claimed it blew over 70 miles an hour that day.
Wow.
2 or 3 boats in Cabin Creek had broke loose from the stake. And the skiff I had behind the boat, it completely sunk. Good thing I had good rope.
Wow,
I
man.
would have lost her.
Yeah, right?
And if I was going along, I got the fish in the boat. It's a 26-foot boat. And Tom, I got around Cabin Creek because I tied up way up the head there. And it didn't last long. That wind probably didn't last over a half hour. But it didn't calm down to maybe 25 or 30 miles an hour. But they claimed in Balmer City, they said it blew 70 miles. It was blowing.
Yeah, I bet you were pretty scared.
I never said stuff. Be scared.
Well, plus you had to get in. You had to make it right. You had to.
That's right.
Holy moly, man.
I had to get in.
But
I had good rope, because when nylon rope come out, it was a lot different than the ropes we had before. And I guess I must have had nylon rope on that skip. And I tied it to the Samson post. You know what I mean with Samson?
Yep.
Back there. And if I hadn't them, the skip was underwater, completely underwater. Lucky enough I got the oars out too, though I ever lost the oars.
Right.
I threw everything in the big boat, or the smaller boat, and towed it around. That time I got around the creek, up the head there, it wasn't all that bad, and I bailed the skiff out and got everything straight.
Wow, man. That's something, isn't it?
I didn't have far to go, but near the post office to go at least, maybe farther than that. Farther near the post office. Which I go
Scary though out in that weather.
Right, come up so quick.
Right.
It was just like that.
Weather does come up quick out there, doesn't it?
It can.
Can turn on you.
Real quick. Real quick.
And of course in the winter it's cold out there too.
This was in St. Patrick's Day, which is the 17th day of
March,
which is March.
And yeah, so it's an unpredictable day. It's historically.
Well, I've seen 2 or 3 bad storms in St. Patrick's Day.
No kidding, man.
My father say a lot of these old black folks, they were superstitious anyway. They used to oyster, and no matter on St. Patrick's Day, not only black folks, some of the old white people, they would not go out on the water at all on St. Patrick's Day.
Bad luck.
If it was a good day home, sun shining, they stay home and do something.
Right. Do you have any superstitions like out there?
No. Well, blue. I don't put no blue on. Don't paint no blue on the boat.
You won't paint no blue on the boat.
No. Other people down the bay, they wouldn't think about painting blue on the boat.
Right.
Of course, things might change now. It could be different.
People might not even know, but do you know why not to? It's just bad luck.
Bad luck, that's all.
Right.
And a lot of people didn't want you to come on the boat. You was eating bananas, but that never bothered me.
Right.
I've had people come on the boat eating bananas. I didn't care about it.
That they thought that was bad luck too.
Yeah. Not for me, it was, 'cause I didn't pay attention to that.
I've heard women on a boat was bad luck.
Yeah, I've run a lot of women fishing.
Right, and they caught fish just like
Some
it.
of them screwball women I took out for the oyster propagation. Worked for the state.
Oh, right. Oyster propagation. When was that? What was that all about?
That was for about 20 years. I done work for the state.
Uh-huh.
It was mostly after oyster season, and I planted shells, planted seed oysters. Boats would come up and up down the bay and around here, and we caught seed oysters here too.
You didn't plant them. All you did was oversee it.
I just oversee it, make sure they were planted what it was supposed to be planted.
So you would be on your boat,
I'd be on my boat.
going along with them.
Well, I'd be there, and they'd be there. They'd catch the oysters, and they'd come to where I was at.
Gotcha.
And then they would. A lot of times, I'd have a stake person with me.
So you had to have the knowledge of what you were looking at.
Well, we'd stake the place off ahead of time. A lot of times somebody would go with me to help stake it off.
Right.
Guy Edwards or Joe Himes or Tillman Timms, somebody like that. We figured out exactly where we wanted it, It was a good job in the spring. It didn't pay no fabulous money, but they give me a little bit more. I started off at $75 a day and went to 100 and then went to more than that. And it was a nice little job in between.
Sure.
You didn't get your money right away.
But you didn't get your money.
Of course not.
I mean,
But you could count on getting it.
We knew you were going to get it.
Right. You could bank it. You had it in the bank more or less.
You might be 3 weeks getting your money.
Right.
Sometimes you might be 6 weeks.
Because that's another thing. We were talking about the positives and the negatives. One of the negatives is you know it's not for certain. But a positive is you're your own boss most of the time out there.
Well, I had to do what Eight Rizzy used to go up his son. You remember Eight Rizzy? He's got a couple sons. No, he's got Petey. You know Petey Rizzy?
Yes.
His father. He'd worked for the state. He'd worked on the water, but then after he was a delegate for a while in over to Annapolis, and then after he was a delegate for at least 4 years, might have been 8, I don't know. But anyway, after he got out of that, he went to work for the state. He got himself a good state job, you know. But they weren't overpaid, those state people. They made a living.
Right.
But today they get a lot more money than they got then, you know.
Right.
I've heard some of them boys say that worked for the Tidewater Fisher Boys when they first started. I'm talking about 50 years ago. They didn't make a whole lot of money. We were beating them on the water. We were beating them, making twice as much as they were making. But they made a living.
Sure.
They got insurance and all, and they had a retirement. They all, the ones that stayed in there for 25 years, they all got a retirement, which wasn't a bad thing, you know. And they got an increase too. They got more money every year.
What was what were the relationship like with the Marine Police around here in the Waterman?
Well, if you called your oysters and had all your equipment, stayed where you were supposed to, you didn't have any trouble. But
Right.
some people just wouldn't call the oysters. That's all. But close oysters, I had a very good eye for. I never got arrested in my life on the oysters that I called.
Right.
But I've got arrested a couple of times. I had somebody in the boat was doing the call. But what I called, of course, Rick and Charlie used to go with me. And Charlie caught on to it very quick, calling oysters. He wasn't as fast as Ricky, but Ricky could get him in a quicker. Ricky might get you arrested too if you didn't pay him.
Right. He wasn't as exact.
You don't have to worry about getting arrested, Charlie.
Right. Now you just get it to get one that had both things, you know, quick and precise. That's what you get. So did your boys ever work on the water, both of them?
Oh yeah. Charlie still runs fishing parties.
Right.
But Rick he used to tong some too. He got a little boat, he tonged his own self. It ain't many people around here their age that didn't work on the water a little bit.
That's right.
Because at one time, oystering was a very productive thing.
Even into the 70s, early 70s, when your boys, late 60s, early 70s, when your boys came along, it was still a pretty productive.
Oh yeah. And it got so, when I first started oystering, it was county lines. You could only oyster and crab and fish. Now fishing parties you go anywhere you wanted, but net fishing and crabbing, eel, you go anywhere you wanted. That you had to stay in the county lines. In other words, you could only
Your home county. You can only work in your home county.
Yeah, there's always a lot of contention about that too.
I was going to say, that seems like it would create contention.
Especially in places like Harrenhal. You know where Harrenhal is?
No.
Down past. It's between Bennett's Point and St. Michael's.
Okay.
It's out there in the middle, and if you don't know where you're going, you run out there, you get off the ground. That's out in the middle. Still no water there. I can vaguely remember it was a little island there, but
Wow.
at one time it was probably a 10 or 15 acre island, but that's way before my time.
And the contention was between Queen Anne's and Talbot?
Yeah. And Harrenhal actually was in Queen Anne's County.
Uh-huh.
Used to want to claim it, but you go back to the old records, you find out that Harrenhal come off of Bennett's Point.
Gotcha.
So that was the whole thing right there.
Well, that's, you've seen...
But they changed that. I can't remember what year it was. I made money by them changing it because...
The county line changing?
Yeah, because we went to Deals Island, Oyster. We went
Right.
Potomac, all kinds of places. I'll tell you about when we went to Potomac. You want to hear about that?
Yeah, I do want to hear about that.
That was 1963, first year I had that boat. 1963. Billy Benton, old man Billy.
Right.
I had a compass on the boat, a good compass, still on there, nice big compass. And I had a depth finder, which will show you the bottom. That's about all. It wasn't much good. That's all. Compass depth finders weren't all that great then. They show you the bottom. And they show you some spit and spat, and you might think you're fishing. And the oyster season was going to start down there on a Tuesday, and we were going to go down on a Sunday. And blowing a gale off southwest, and we didn't go. We never left till about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We got down the mouth of the Tucson River. It got dark on us, and you run to we run from lake to lake, and went on up the river as far as Piney Point, and then it jumped out and blowed again northwest. And we got inshore there and tied up, Next morning we went on up the river. That's a long way from the mouth of Potomac to the Potomac River Bridge, and where we got the license at was on the left going up. That was called Colonial Beach, I believe. But anyway, we came out of there about the sun was just getting ready to go down, and I didn't know yay from nay. Uncle Courts was in his boat. You remember Uncle Courts?
Yeah, absolutely.
And he was in his boat. And him and Bill Jones, they had a small boat towing it, and I started across there. I could see the bridge. I knew it, but as far as knowing where the oyster bars were, didn't know nothing.
Right.
And we're going across it, running about a northwest course, and all of a sudden, depth finder dropped right up, about 10 foot of water. I said, "Don't take that sounding bowl, see what it feels like." He said, "Oh, the oyster's here." So we anchored down, ate a little something, went to sleep that night, got up the next morning, fiddling around, eating, washing up a little bit. Damn boats will come from everywhere, come right to us. We were on Cedar Point, probably one of the best bars down there.
Oh, no kidding. Just happened to hit it.
And we never even pulled our anchor up, laid right there. Caught 52 bushel oysters.
Get out of here, man.
No yay from nay.
That's a good morning, isn't it? What's your best day ever out there? You think about that ever? Like
catching oysters?
Yeah.
Oh, I've caught 97 bushel before.
Wow.
And somebody in a boat with me.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I shoveled out 227 bushel seed oysters out of her. She was loaded.
Wow, wow, wow.
I mean, when we was catching them seed oysters, we was taking an awful chance. You get sunk in boat that's gone down, you'd have a hell of a time getting it up.
Yeah, right.
Well, it was something in the spring that everybody had nothing else to do.
Right.
They used to judge. They would give me $2.50, and one time, most of the time, I could take 2 loads, especially if it was catching behind parts on going up the river. And then this is before I start working for the oyster propagation, and they was giving me $2.50, which I knew I didn't have $2.50, but they were giving it to me. They give a lot of people more than I had, really. And this day I got caught. They were shoving it on a boat, boozing it out. I said, I'm going to caught today. I had Tommy Jones with me. I got caught today. I said, we're going to get caught today, sure in hell. And we did. And I shoveled out 227 bushel. I don't know how I did it. That was work. That was work. That was hard work.
Wow, man. You loved it though, didn't you? You loved working on the water.
Yeah, I like to do it. There's no question. I like being out there.
Did you ever do anything else? Did you ever take on any other jobs?
Oh, I worked for Trumpy a couple springs.
Trumpy boat builders?
Yeah. I didn't have any trouble. I went over there and they gave me a job immediately. And the man said, "What can you paint a boat?" I said, "Anything on it, including them numbers. It might not suit you, them numbers, but they put me a couple of days as work, because all them other guys that used to be down in Dominion and working, they said, "You work over here, you'll be 2 or 3 years before they give you a job painting sides and all that stuff." The old man's name, what was that old man's name? Mr. Joy, older man. And then he had a boss over him. He was the next boss. And one time after lunch, he told me, he said, "Go, old man, what's that old guy's name? He was living in Graysville for a while." cobbing and bobbing this boat. I'm talking about a 60-foot boat. Big. But I could paint. I knew how to paint. And Mr. Joy and the big boss must have sit there and watched me for 15, 20 minutes, half hour. They could see I could paint. That's the last bottom I done.
No kidding.
Next morning, Mr. Joyce, you go in there with them guys and paint the side of that boat.
So in the off season, you go to work for them?
Go to work for them, and I worked for Gordon Drummer, Irvin Drummer one year. We just had trouble getting our money.
Well, doing what for him?
We had a little marina down there.
Uh-huh.
It's just about where, on this side of Nairn's restaurant.
Gotcha.
It's all changed. It's hard to remember
Right.
stuff unless you really.
The landscape is all changed down there.
It's gonna change again too. I ain't gonna live to see it, but you might. It'll wash off the map.
Is that right? That down
The
there?
whole damn place will.
Right. It's low, isn't it?
Well, I didn't used to believe this stuff about
Global warming.
I thought it was a lot of who do it, but it's the truth.
What made you believe it?
I don't know. Just watching television, Well, it's proven that different things have happened.
Right.
And you ain't got to be a brain scientist to figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it. You certainly go. You take rides and you go down to all these places that you've known all your life, and you've seen the You see the changes through your own.
Well, how it's washed away.
Right.
Botkinol. You want Botkinol?
I do.
Used to be an old man lived down Dominion. His name was Mr. Stevens. He liked to talk, and if you want to find out anything, you could talk to him. He could tell you. He was pretty well old man then. He probably done orchard and that kind of stuff. He told me if he was a young man, it was 47 acres. In 1900, that map in there I got in there shows. You've seen that, right?
Yeah.
It shows Botkinol. It was 47 acres.
Wow.
And Mr. Stevens, they lived over there. Said they had a couple mules and a cow. Of course, naturally they oyster and stuff.
Right.
In season. But they raised fruit and all that kind of stuff over there. But when they started washing, I can remember what really put the mojo to Botkinol was 1954, which I wasn't here. But it made 2 ounces. He busted in half.
Oh.
But I can remember when I was young man first started oystering, Botkinol was at least 8 or 9 acres, maybe 10 acres.
No kidding. Ain't much out there now.
Ain't big as this house. And
No.
Well, it ain't nothing really.
A couple old tree-looking things, birds. It's covered in birds.
I don't know. It's just they thought there once they were going to do the same thing to Partizan too that they did to the big island down below there. Pop Ron.
Uh-huh.
You know, they filled all that stuff in.
Yeah.
You'd be interested in that.
I've been down there. I've taken that tour.
Oh, I'd love to take it.
Oh yeah.
Nancy took it.
It's.
Her and her sister and all of them.
I did a story for that What's Up Eastern Shore magazine.
Did you?
And they took me out there and they showed me around. It's something to see. It's really amazing.
Well, see, I've oystered down that way and done a lot of fishing down that way.
Right.
And it would be very interesting to me to go out there and just look.
Well, let me see if I can, because I don't know who did it
Well,
down
Nancy
there.
says you have to get ahead of time. It books up.
Yes, it books up.
Real fast.
Yeah, it books up, and they only do it a short time, depending on who they've got on the island.
She said they left in Tillman's on.
We did too.
Probably the same.
Yeah, about 7 or 8 in the morning, something like that, and just rode over there. We were back by noon or 1 o'clock. It was took a boat ride. And